Scared Spliff podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. Check it.
Scared Spliff. Alright, so we're here with BONEHILL ROAD crew. So can you guys introduce yourselves?
Let's start over here with Cohen.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Doug Epps. I play Cohen.
Awesome.
My name is Shalyn Lillard. I was an associate producer on the film, and then I also got to play a werewolf a few days. It's pretty
He basically squatted in the middle of the road.
Werewolves gotta take a shit too, you know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Already getting off on the right foot.
I'm the director, Todd Sheets. Very proud of everybody in this room for the incredible amount of work they did on this film and for selling their souls to the devil for me. It was very nice of them.
Mine was already in Hawk.
I know it was, but we made a good deal.
Awesome.
I'm Steve Ferrandino, and I was the best boy on the film.
He sure was.
I agree.
He brought us donuts and enchiladas.
I don't think I did the last part, but sure.
Just take the credits.
We can go with that.
Yeah, that's right. Enchiladas.
I'm Dilynn Fawn Harvey, and I play Lucy.
Lucy.
I'm Antwoine Steele. I did script notes, stunts.
Kept me in order.
Keep it rolling.
Kept all of us in order.
He also threw himself backwards down some stairs in the wolf suit
Yeah.
a couple of times and
Oh,
ran
man.
me over.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome.
And Skyler Roberts, boom operator, audio guy.
And I'm Alex Brotherton. I am the assistant director.
Awesome. Totally. So can you tell us a little bit more about the film? What's it about? Obviously don't give it away, but you know, what was the whole idea of the creation of the movie? What was the goal of it? What was the the concept, and you know, from start to finish, what did you actually want to achieve with this, if anything?
It's always so nice when you spread out like that, Douglas. They could take a picture of you and put you in Playgirl. I guess for BONEHILL ROAD, what I wanted to do is I was making an homage film to like The Howling and An American Werewolf in London and those movies from that era. You know, we had a werewolf boom in the 80s, and those films had a lot of passion and a lot of heart, and they were done practically with practical effects. It was before CGI was even around, thankfully.
Yeah.
And those movies really they started with something really great before they even got into any of the effects, and that was a good story. And that's why we still love them today, you know, because The Howling and American Werewolf has these amazing stories at the core. And so I wanted to make a film that paid homage to those. And those are two of my favorite films of all time, and werewolves are my favorite movie monster. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. And it took a lot of years, because the original concept for BONEHILL ROAD came about, I think it was around 90, 91.
Whoa.
And I'd been doing other films for a long time, but I knew I never had the ability, not only as far as money went, but also as far as what I was capable of as a director. You know, you have to kind of be realistic, and you have to see your own shortcomings. And I knew I would not be able to tackle a werewolf film and be able to do it justice in those early days. So I waited and I waited, and if I finally found the right people to make the movie with. And we of course the script's changed 15 times over the years,
Yeah.
but I found the right people to make the movie with, and that's a big key. I found people who I know, like Dilynn here. The part for Lucy was originally two different parts that I combined into one, because I knew that she was brave enough to handle that part, and she trusted me as a director enough that she could pull it off. And that's important, because if you don't wait and you don't, I guess if you don't focus on the story you're trying to tell, you could do it half-assed, but then people I don't think are going to like it in the long run. It might be okay for a minute, but I want this to stand the test of time. So that was the goal, is to make an homage to the werewolf movies of the past that would stand on its own legs now.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit more about the effects? What was the approach behind it? Because I mean, obviously, like, doing werewolf movies, you have to do the transformation.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about a werewolf movie, it goes back to An American Werewolf in London, and that whole transformation scene of seeing that practical effect of the man turning into a wolf. Like, how did you approach that?
It was difficult because being in the Midwest, there's people there who are very talented, but I don't think they were capable of doing that particular type of effect. I think they wanted to and they tried hard to, but in the end of the day, it was just something that was a little outside of the reach, you know. And so I was starting to panic a little because we'd shot stuff that was working, you know, but we only had about a half of a transformation scene. And this one was very important to me because it's one of the first times you ever see a transformation scene of a woman that's done like an American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen stuff on TV that's like CGI werewolf stuff, and a little bit in The Howling, but not much.
Yeah.
So I was like, we want to show this right in front of your face with bright lights.
No.
You know, we're not doing the whole shadow thing. And it was important to me to make it really, that had to be the highlight, you know. And so, and also I wanted to be of a character that everyone cared about in the movie too, which makes that effect even more, I think, stunning. And so I was really freaking out, and Joe Castro's a buddy of mine, and he's an effects whiz, and he was talking to me one day, and he's like, how's the film going and this and that? And I told him, I said, man, I'm having a hard time with this transformation. I'm just not happy. He says, all right, well, I said, you know, I'm getting ready to do a premiere. The thing was, we shot this thing in 17 days, and we started in July, and I had to have completely finished the movie by the middle of October. And we only shot weekends because everyone has day jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? And that's when it got to Joe, and he said, well, you know, check on prices for airfare and this and that. About a little less than 3 weeks. And he said, and I'll start prepping, and you tell me what you want. And I kind of told him what I wanted and sent him ideas, and he already started on it, man. He was just on it. And he did this as a favor, and he did such an amazing job. And we were able to fly out here and shoot this transformation in a couple of days and get our butts back, and me edited in the film. So it really turned out good, and it really blew my mind how well we were able to match all the footage because it was
great.
Yeah, and it was really, I think, not only did the performance sell it, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but also Joe's, you know, hard work, no sleep, staying up and doing this stuff for us, and didn't even take a salary. He's just like, just pay for the materials, we'll make this happen, because he knew I'd already given all the money I could, and I was just I was dry, and he helped out. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I mean, Joe Castor is a really awesome effects artist.
He is. He's just very imaginative. You know.
Yeah, he has some pretty cool stuff. Terror Tunes is pretty awesome.
I loved the first Terror Tunes. Yeah. I was lucky enough to get to see the new one, and I really liked it too.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy and off the wall and full of just crazy stuff.
That's gnarly.
It
Yeah. I've been trying to see if I could do some apprenticeship with him because he's really cool and he's in the area. So
that's true.
It's really awesome. So as far as the production goes, how was the production process? You said you did it in 17 days. Is that something that you aimed for, or is that something that you rushed yourself with?
Well, we did a lot of prep and we did a lot of organization, and because we had shot a movie previously called Dreaming Purple Neon with this same crew and cast pretty much, and Dreaming Purple Neon, and we went through hell on that movie, and but it was a trial by fire, and I knew what we were capable of, and I was like, well, we were contractually obligated to finish this other film, and that pushed my schedule back. It was originally supposed to be a longer schedule, but because of this other movie and people not showing up, and people, you know how it goes, weather, it got delay after delay, so we were pushing into the schedule for Bonehill by a couple of weeks. It was making me really mad. And so there were some weeks where, like, we normally would shoot 2 or 3 days, we would end up shooting 4 to 5 days for a couple of times just to get, like, pickup shots or whatever we needed. All right, because I didn't need the whole cast, I'd be like, all right, I just need some werewolves on this day, and so we're going to shoot, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the cast, and then the werewolves will be here Monday. We'll shoot extra a couple days that week just so we can squeeze through it. But it was mainly, it was like 17 days of actual principal photography, and then like 2 days, wouldn't you say, Alex, of like pickup shots? Something like that with the werewolves. We did like 2 days. Yeah. And we, you know, it was grueling because we were forcing, you know, we were pushing to get through this thing as fast as possible, and this has got a lot of stuff in it. It's like, I'm always overly ambitious, you know.
Yeah, totally.
It's the way, but with Dreaming Purple Neon, we made one of the goriest movies ever made, and we did it all practical, and we did it with like credit cards. We had no money, so we were just putting it on credit cards, and people were like, "You're never going to be able to do this," and we did it because we're nuts. So, you know, I figured if we can do these practical werewolves and make them look really good, that's at the end of the day, good story, great looking werewolves. That's what you need, and that's what we did. So.
Yeah. And how would you describe him as a director, or being directed by him?
Amazing. He helped me get through some of the parts I wasn't sure about, and no, he's great.
And he explained that you were the right fit for that role. How do you feel about that, knowing that or hearing that?
I didn't know in the beginning. In fact, I didn't even know the extent of my character at first. I mean, I read the script, but I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I didn't realize how much work was going to go into it. And I was actually pleasantly surprised because I was like really excited once I started finding out how important this role was. Like, oh wait, I got a really cool part here. Like it didn't dawn on me for like the longest time. And then once I figured it out, and I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And everybody's like, oh, how did you get the parts? I really don't know. And he's like, yes, you do. You should know because I really believe in you. I really think you can pull this off. I was like, okay.
That was true because the first day on the set, I remember coming to you and I remember saying because we'd been shooting and then you weren't in that first part.
Right.
But when you came in, you were kind of like, yeah, I'm excited, because she's always such a great trooper. And I looked at her and I said, I don't know if you know exactly how important this is, but your role is so pivotal to this film that without your character, this film isn't going to be. You kind of are a turning point in the entire movie. And so she looked at me kind of puzzled and she goes, huh? And then she looks at it again and I said, and you're doing this and this and this. I don't want to give it away. Yeah. And then she looked at me again and she goes, I get it, because it really was that important. And I said, you got to, and then she started getting the mail. Before the movie, while we were shooting, she's getting all these people writing her because it got out on the message boards and the werewolf. There's a lot of werewolf fans, man. Yeah, definitely. This whole underground, we kind of freaked out. And then the furries. I don't even know what a furry is.
Oh my god! Yeah,
what the hell's a furry?
Okay, you need to. Yeah, let's touch on that.
Please, let's touch on furries.
That scared the hell out of me. I was like, who are these people? And the furry people came out, and then they started writing, and she was getting bombarded. Are you gonna have a tape? You gotta do this. You gotta do that. I was like, dude, and she's like, I don't know what to say. I said, don't tell him anything. I said, don't tell him a damn thing.
So you had furries reaching out to you, telling you how to be.
Yeah,
wanting to know what I'm doing, and if you don't do this, you're not gonna get everybody's gonna be mad if you don't do this, if you don't do that. And I'm like, huh, what?
And they weren't even raising hell about. All right, they're like, okay, well, what's your hairstyle gonna be, and what are you gonna be doing, and what's this gonna happen?
Oh, she can't be blonde. She can't be blonde. I'm like, but I was blonde, at the time, and I had another film I was doing, and I had to have that hair for that particular film.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
And what if a bunch of furries show up?
They got, dude, I didn't know there was such a thing. I'm a werewolf fan myself, and I never realized there's like message boards dedicated to this stuff. Yeah, and and not just that shape shifting in general. It's like oh my god! And then they were writing me, because then they would see my name attached to, and they were writing me, and they were raising hell about stuff. And I said, listen, watch the movie. I'm not gonna tell you. And to this day, like that one guy, he hasn't got his Blu-ray yet because we did the Indiegogo. Yeah. And we're still sending. We had 460 Blu-rays to send out. We're still sending them. Mm-hmm. And he says, I should have been the first one. Why wasn't I? I gave you all this great information. I said, dude, you're not a consultant. Yeah. I've loved werewolves since I was a kid. I appreciate your support.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the biggest critics. Like he never reached out to me, but I had inside information telling me,
Well, people that actually even worked on the film were taking DVDs and stuff when we supported.
Right, because
we
want them to have them first. So we're taking care of people, but man, they get really. Wow.
The guy I was talking to, he was really cool. I mean, he was just being nice, and he was giving me information. Hey, these guys would like. They'd love to see this.
But we had no idea. Yeah. It kind of freaked her out for a minute.
Well, what freaked me out is he didn't tell me what this message, where this message board or anything was. But I was just bored one day at work and I decided to Google,
to find it.
Let's go see what I can do. And I found this message board and I started reading all these things. I'm going, what?
She better shave her legs. What?
And it was anywhere between, she needs to have a muzzle. She's got no tail. I'm not interested. Oh, I don't like her. She's not pretty. I'm like... Okay. Like very harsh. I'm like, and then finally my husband goes, "You are grounded from the computer. You are not reading this stuff no more."
Thank you, because she was starting to wig out a little bit. I was like, it's going to be fine. Like I told you, you are just your part is so important, and it took a lot. It's really hard with the internet because you've got a lot of pluses and a lot of negatives.
Yeah, definitely.
We love the promotion and the people supporting us, but at the same time, when you have the movie's not even out yet and people are condemning you. Mm-hmm. And we didn't put out any pictures of the werewolves hardly at all. We had a few. because we have to promote the people doing them.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. Sucking on a dick.
It's a really hard thing because you don't want people to see your werewolves, but at the same time, when someone's doing you a favor and they're giving you a $10,000 wolf suit for $2,800 or $3,000, you feel like you have to help them by promoting them. So and our heads were done in London, and that guy did these $900 heads. He hooked us up for like $650.
Nice.
Gave us free shipping. I mean, people loved our project, and they really contributed to make it good.
That's
it. As some of the people are getting their DVDs and after they've been watching them and getting feedback, they love it. They're like, this is really good. This is really good.
We've really had 100% positive feedback so far. So.
Damn. So what has been the negative besides just obviously the queries and the comments and everything, but like what has been the negative side of this whole production process of the film, if any?
The only negative side that I can honestly say from a production standpoint, and you may have something to interject, the actors might, but from a production standpoint, it was the schedule, of course, being grueling. It was learning how, no matter how many times you shoot a movie, you don't know how to shoot werewolves, I'm telling you, unless you do it. When we first shot our first night of werewolves, and I went back and watched the footage thinking it was all good, I had Chuck E. Cheese. That's what I had. And I said, this is absolutely not going to work.
He sent out homework.
I did. And so I put homework out for all the werewolves. And to their credit, even Shalyn, who squatted in the road, to their credit, they went and watched this footage and stood in front of mirrors and started learning. Because it's hard. Not only that, we're shooting this thing in the middle of the summer. It's 101 degrees.
Yeah.
We have these guys in these wolf suits, and they had to learn how to move. They had to learn, and I had to learn. You think you light your set and it's done.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not because you have performance with the werewolves. You have to light them differently, believe it or not. But you have to make them look like the same lighting that you used on the regular actors. So I had to learn how to light these suits in a way. And how to make them drool and how to do this and how to make it look real. Even though the suits themselves looked absolutely real when you're standing there. On camera, it doesn't look like it did.
Yeah, totally.
And so I had to learn, okay, I know how to shoot all these actors, but I've got actors in the scene with the wolves, and the wolves don't look like the actors, and how am I going to, because the way, like flesh is flesh and the way you light it, but then when you're lighting this material that they're using for these wolves, the foam and the latex and all, then you're in a whole different world. Don't you agree, Alex? We had to really kind of learn that. There was a learning curve because we were like, holy crap, man. And you can't just shoot a foot stepping down because it looks like a Chuck E. Cheese rubber foot stepping down. So you had to learn, okay, you've got to move your foot a certain way so that the toes bend like this, and you have to light it this way, and you have to get the shadowing right. It was really difficult. So from that, and I wouldn't even call it a negative. I would call it a really cool learning experience, but it was really difficult. And then the transformation effects, those were really hard. We weren't prepared for how hard those would be.
And as far as the stunt coordination and all of that's concerned and everything, how was the approach with that? Like, did you train? Did you get prepared?
I started doing stunts with him 25 years ago. One day, what was it? We just decided to do it from flipping over a car.
Oh yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, dragging behind a truck. And then when it came to this...
No safety equipment.
Yeah, no safety equipment back in the day. But when it came to this, we had to actually protect my neck, my back, and everything to go down the stairs.
We had to make like an exoskeleton out of like hard cardboard and foam. And then
I even put on my bulletproof vest for my
did,
job.
yeah. He's a security guard and he has bulletproof vests and stuff, so he brought all that stuff and shin guards, everything. And then we had a special stunt suit just for the stunt scenes like that when wolves were flying through shit and blasting through windows.
Accidents or anything happened during the film?
There was not on this movie.
And I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, you've been doing stunts with him for 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Any awesome story that any close calls, anything like
I
that?
want to tell one story about the rappelling.
Oh yeah.
We were in a 7-story building, and there's an elevator shaft, a huge elevator shaft, and we decided in this movie that he and this other character played by Rico Love, one of our good friends, they were going to go down an elevator shaft. They were rappelling down an elevator shaft, mind you, and the first time they did it, they didn't have any safety gear, but then we found some safety harnesses, and we're like, just used for like painting for the painters to be on the, and we're like, let's rig those. So then we're these guys are like really worried. They're going down this thing, and we're shooting these shots so I can insert these demon things attacking them in post, and I fell through the floor. Where I was standing, the floor gave out, and I fell through and caught myself with 2 elbows, and my legs are kicking, and I was 7 stories up, and I was like, oh my God, I just saw my life flash before my eyes. And then another one I loved was when they were fighting the same movie, no, different movie, Whispers in the Gloom. You're fighting on a truck with Rico, and we decided, because we were, like I said, we're too ambitious, right? And we're like, okay, well, during this scene, you guys are fighting in the bed of a truck, and then you get flipped over, and then you're hanging on for life, but then he hits your hands and you fly off and you grab the very tail and you get drugged. He's like, yeah, we can do this. And he's got all this stuff he's prepared. And we did that scene over and over and over. And as we're going down this stretch of road that we've blocked off, we get closer and closer to the water puddles. And we pulled it off. I don't even know how we pulled it off. And then finally, for the wide shot, we used a bungee cable, but that you couldn't see. But we pulled it off with no bungee cables or anything. And he flipped down. And then that one time we drug him through a water puddle. The poor guy, his pants are completely shredded. His steel toe boots are shredded. His steel toe boots were making sparks on the road.
And every time I would try to jump from the truck to Rico, wouldn't get it.
Oh yeah, because I forgot about that. We had 2 cars.
Yeah,
we had a car and a truck.
Yeah, on the truck we were going like what, 40?
45.
Yeah, and I'm trying to let go of the truck and jump at the same time.
And the thing was, he had to jump from the car over to, because they were fighting on top of the car first, and they jumped into the truck to fight.
Wow.
And so he had to get.
I get thrown in the truck.
Yeah.
And you're still here.
Yeah. And he told me to flip Rico over. I flipped him, and all you heard is, he landed on his head.
Oh, wow.
And got up, just popped his bones and said, let's do it.
Crack, we left it in the movie.
He's like, let's go. So we just continued. And every time I was trying to do that part, I would miss, and you'd just see me hit the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it like about what? I think it was like close to 10 times. And then after that, we just went from where he was strapped with the rope around him, I was hanging on him.
Yeah, you were hanging on Rico, and we were dragging you guys down the street. And that's just one of the many. We've done so many things. We could write a whole book on the stupid stuff we did.
Whoa, that's insane, dude. That's really fucking awesome. And it actually, it's very inspiring, to hear all this shit, because I'm starting up myself, and just knowing that other people are actually very, very respectful with their craft, and just, diving down deep, and knowing that, hearing that it took you that long for you to do that one film, just in general, is just so inspiring to hear, and just, gives hope, a lot of hope to anybody that's listening, that horror is not dead. Practical effects is not dead at all.
We love it. It says, it's like you were talking stunts with him. I'll never forget the day on Whispers in the Gloom when we were working out this effect, and I said, hey man, I want you to run up that tree and do a backflip. And for the first time ever, Antwoine looked at me and said, you out your damn mind? I said, you can do this, man. So he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do the best I can. So he's in a fight scene, and he's running. He literally runs halfway, because I'm a Jackie Chan freak. I'm like, you got to do it. So he runs halfway up this tree, and instead of doing a backflip, he just pushes off and goes way over the bad guy. That was pretty cool. Lands on the other side of the bad guy and kicks him. That was pretty cool. Do anything. Because we wanted to compete. The thing is, in the video market, back in those days, those are the VHS days and the early days of DVD, and you had to compete because you only have so much shelf space, and so many people are making movies that you have to do something to set yourself apart. Yeah. So we wanted to make these movies that were ambitious, so that it wouldn't just be a couple of guys in a coffee shop talking.
Totally.
We wanted to have, we'd go in a coffee shop, and they might start talking, but by the end of it, there's going to be people flipping over through walls and flying through the air.
That's sick. That's awesome.
We were nuts.
So let's hear some more about the underside of the production process that a lot of people don't really hear. So let's hear from the best boy. What do you have to say about the production and the whole process?
I was actually fortunate enough to be brought out by Todd. I've been a fan of his. I'm 22 years old right now. I've been a fan of his since I was 13. And how the hell did we meet again?
Dude, you found out I was in the hospital. I had a heart attack in 2012. I had quadruple bypass surgery, open heart surgery. I almost died. You found out about it. and you made that video, and you guys did that
Yeah.
fan club on Facebook.
Yep.
You and Thomas and Matt. I didn't even know, and Brendan.
Yep.
Right. And I didn't even know that this thing existed. And to help cheer me up, everyone shows me. They go, there's a Todd Sheets fan site for you out there. And I'm like, man, no one gives a damn about me or my damn old crappy movies. But they did. And he was one of them. And he made this video for me on YouTube, and he was crying, and it was like, it broke my heart, because I was like, holy crap. You don't think about it. These little movies that we're making do touch people. And I was like, that blew my, and Brandon same with him, and Thomas is great. Thomas Berdinsky, and Matt Cannon, they kind of started this fan group, and they were all in there talking about it, and I went in there, and I was like, hey guys, and they were like, holy crap. And so it was like, I'll be a part of this. You guys will get the news first. I'll post in here, and I'm just honored that you did this for me. I didn't think, that would ever happen. And it really helped me, because then suddenly I just got this outpouring of letters, like emails, and the group has grown steadily, but the emails, I had like 30,000 emails from around the world, and it freaked me out, and it really helped me to heal and things and to get back, because I hadn't made a movie in years, because I'd been doing radio and everything.
Yeah.
And they were like, you got to come back and make movies. And I said, all right. It's what I love to do the most. I just didn't think that anyone cared,
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how we met. And I promised him, if I ever get a chance to bring you out, you're going to work on a movie.
Okay.
And
that's awesome.
and I always keep my promises. I promised Diane Thorne, who played Ilsa in all those 70s Ilsa movies.
Yeah.
I said, if I ever get a chance to bring you out, I'm putting you in a movie. And we did. And on this movie, on BONEHILL ROAD, I've known Linnea Quigley 25 years almost, give or take. Dave Dakota was my mentor. And so I said, Linnea, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to put you on a movie. And we do. I mean, I always follow through. It took me 20-something years, but I got her in there.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was the thing with Steven. I promised him, and we brought him out.
Awesome. Any really weird stories from while you were shooting? This podcast is about everything, so from the paranormal to the occult to the fucked up to the funny to the most extreme, or anything, any type of story that you guys might have. That's
true. Well, other than Douglas here, who is a paranormal,
I didn't do it.
I saw you.
He's definitely a paranormal oddity. Shalyn just brought up something that was pretty surreal. I mean, on this, we've had other movies where we've encountered some really crazy, creepy stuff in these old buildings. Because I used to one of my things, I used to run around with the Ghost Hunters from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
And they took me around, and boy, I've experienced some weird stuff. But he mentioned one night we were filming this scene in the graveyard in a cemetery. Not only was this weird because one of our werewolf guys that handled the werewolves, like we had a werewolf crew that just took care of the werewolves and helped them get in their suits and get out of their suits and keep them cool. And he says, Todd, there's someone in the field. There's a big cornfield there next to it's the middle of nowhere with the great, all this stuff. And we're like, what the hell? And there was some kind of light going through, like someone carrying one of those lanterns or whatever, an LED lantern, real bright. And that light went across the street. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Someone's in there. So we were waiting. He's yelling in there, hey, man, who's in there? Come out, because we're waiting to shoot a shot.
Yeah.
We thought someone was in there. There was no one in there. Okay, no one. I went back there later to watch a shooting star thing because I like that kind of stuff. Just like a month later, that same light happened when I was there by myself. It's doing across the street. Freaked me straight the hell out. So, but while we're filming, and we have these guys in these suits, these werewolf suits, attacking this car. And they're growling and everything in the suits. Of course, we dub all that later. But the actresses were screaming and everything, and all of a sudden you heard, remember this? The wolves howling. We had wolves howling. Because wolves travel through late summer into early fall. And we had actual wolves and coyotes howling in the woods all around us. And they were traveling through, and so there was some behind us and some in front of us, and they were circling us. That was surreal. In the middle of the night.
I think the best part of that too was we had a full moon that night. I'm pretty sure there's a couple times when we were filming where we had full moons, and it was really nice.
We went through 3 full moon cycles.
It
was weird because on the soundtrack when you hear the wolves, that's real. We kept it.
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. Check it